Hey, Soul Tribe. So, I have to laugh a little bit because I remember when I first started doing readings, and I would tell people that I can only do readings to a certain amount of time, because I couldn't handle it. I still do that, but that's only because I want to give, 100%. I can give 100% with you guys right now because there's no one here. It's really quiet. I'm super chill. It's midnight. Would I want to give a reading to another person this late? No, because I would be so drained because I would have to take on their energy and talk to them. But for some reason, these little late night rendezvous with spirit are becoming really fun for me. I really am enjoying it. So today I wanted to talk about attachment. Earlier today, I had an incident. I'm going to say it in that way. I had an incident where I finally got the urge to write, and I wrote for quite some time. I was so proud of myself, actually, because I had rearranged this whole part that I've wanted to do since I got the computer, but it just wasn't coming to me, or I just wasn't feeling it. And ironically enough, I was cleaning my altar when this happened. I actually went to do something else, and before I knew it, I just got this urge to start writing. And then before I knew it, I was writing, and then my dad came in, and happy birthday, Dad. My dad, February 28th, my dad would have been 70. I'm sure when he turned 64, because he died when he was 64, but I'm sure, the day before when he was 63, he had been sick off and on for a really long time, but he was doing much better. And so, I can't remember if he had had the surgery before or after his birthday. I feel like it was before, but maybe it was after. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I'm just having all these moments of attachment with old feelings, with old stuff, and realizing how fast it really does go. Even now, more than ever, it goes by so fast. So we really have to cherish every moment. And so after I got to a certain point, I was so tired. I was like, I can't write anymore. I'm going to go back to cleaning and, doing my stuff and rearranging my altar. And I put the computer down, and I realized, I was like, wait, do I have to save it? And I was like, no, I'm like, I think it saves itself or whatever. I think it automatically backs up or whatever. Long story short, I went to find it, and I couldn't find it. And I could find the things that I downloaded. I was beside myself. I mean, beside myself. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like, I felt like I was on the right track. I felt like everything was where it was. Like, I felt so good about everything. The writing was good. I was being raw. I was being real. I was talking about shit that I've been having a really hard time talking about. But everything that I was writing, I felt like music was coming on. My higher self is my DJ. And so I was like crying on certain parts and getting through things. And I'm like, I'm doing it, and I felt my dad like cheering me on. Like, I know this is hard to, because there were parts that I was like, I don't want to talk about this. And there's something really, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but there's something really interesting about talking about your loved ones who've passed over in a negative light. Especially for myself, because I talk to my dad so much now, and he's so, like, I know his higher self, like I know his soul. But I still can't help but dip into these memories and these feelings and these, whatever they are, about how it felt when he was a different person. And so all I could think was, I was writing it from ego, or I was writing, maybe I was, I was so upset about it that I was like, I need to go outside. And we had this beautiful, glorious day. It was 62 degrees today. It was beautiful. It was sunny. I went outside and played with the fairies for a little while and played with the cats. And it was just fun. I was just out in the pasture, you know, thinking about the horses and that they're coming back in a few months and I can't wait. But then the fairies just started talking to me and they were like, so it's lost, like it's gone. So you did it. You, at least you know now, maybe you were just meant to go in another direction. And I just felt like all of a sudden I was just like, you know, I went from kind of feeling sorry for myself to feeling inspired again. And I was like, you know what, you're right. You're right. So I come back in here and I'm doing stuff and I'm laughing because I'm like, Mercury in retrograde, man. Like, you know, what can you do? I almost don't even, during this time, I almost don't like to do anything. That's why they say, like, don't like sign contracts or don't, you know, make final decisions in this time, because this time is really to like reflect and go inward and like to kind of slow down a little bit and reassess like your path and like your direction. That's what Mercury retrograde is all about, right? But I come back here and I'm like doing all these things. And then after I had like made peace with it, after I had made peace with the fact that everything I did today was gone, after I made peace with that, all of a sudden I heard, look at your computer again. And I looked at my computer and I did the exact same things I did before I went outside. I did the exact same things. And there it was. It was fucking crazy. It was like, and I'm telling you, like, I'm not super computer literate, but I'm also not a dummy. Like, I mean, I started working in computers for my job in 1991. So, I mean, you know, we were kind of self-taught. I mean, we were taught a little bit at the one company I work for, but, you know, so I know a little bit, but I know they're also way more advanced now. So I just know the basics, and this Chromebook is the basics. So I'm kind of like, I know how to look for a document. I understand that it's offline, online, all that. And my sister Bailey like set me up for success to make sure that it was offline, so I didn't have to worry about that. So I could just get on and write when I wanted to and not worry about an internet connection. So I know, I'm telling you. So the fairies were little tricksters, you know, so they were playing with me, but they gave me such a great gift because I've been going through attachment again. And we really do have to live in the non-attachment existence for us to thrive and like really truly be ourselves. So I was pulled to grab some cards for us. And I think it's interesting that the medicine cards, the spirit animals, wanted to come to us first. And this card fell out when I went to pull the deck. Okay. So this card fell out, but the crazy part about it, is that as I was going to put it back in the deck, I kind of got this vibe like, you don't need to put it back in the deck. Like, that's your card. And I was like, yeah, but I still always like to shuffle because God knows I have to question everything. I'm working on it. But it was interesting because Spirit told me to read both the upside and the reversed, because this is a mass reading for all of us, right? So take from it what you need, leave behind what you don't. And, you know, you don't have to, you know, you may have listened to this whole thing already, but I'll put a thing down there to say you can go straight to the reading if you don't want to hear about how I came to this reading today. But, you know, snakes are all about shedding their skin, right? They shed their skin. They can't be attached to their skin because they're going to shed it. It's part of their, like, it's just part of their DNA. It says, snake, come crawling. There's fire in your eyes. Bite me, excite me. I'll learn to realize. The poison transmuted brings eternal flame. Open me to heaven to heal me again. And it's about transmutation. And it says, snake medicine people are very rare. Their initiation involves experiencing and living through multiple snake bites, which allows them to transmute all poisons, be they mental, physical, spiritual, or emotional. The power of snake medicine is the power of creation, for it embodies sexuality, psychic energy, alchemy, reproduction, and ascension or immortality. The transmutation of the life, death, rebirth cycle is exemplified by the shedding of snake's skin. It is the energy of wholeness, cosmic consciousness, and the ability to experience anything willingly and without resistance. It is the knowledge that all things are equal in creation, and that those things which might be experienced as poison can be eaten, ingested, integrated, and transmuted if one has the proper state of mind. Thoth, the Atlantean who later returned as Hermes, I know everybody says it differently, and was the father of alchemy, used the symbology of two snakes intertwining around a sword to represent healing. Complete understanding and acceptance of the male and female within each organism creates a melding of the two into one, thereby producing divine energy. I'm going to stop right here. I don't know if you watch all of my readings, but if you are like one of my avid people that watches everything I put out, then a lot of this is going to make sense to you. It'll make sense to you anyway, but man, we have been talking about this, balance of, divine feminine, divine masculine. I mean, obviously I've been talking about it in my teachings for years, but it's really been coming through recently in like the last 3 or 4 readings. So I just think it's interesting that this is coming in. And also we worked with the bat recently as well, which is all about the rebirth cycle. So it says, this medicine teaches you on a personal level that you are a universal being. Through accepting all aspects of your life, you can bring about the transmutation of the fire medicine. This fire energy, when functioning on the material plane, creates passion, desire, procreation, and physical vitality. On the emotional plane, it becomes ambition, creation, resolution, and dreams. On the mental plane, it becomes intellect, power, charisma, and leadership. When the snake energy reaches the spiritual plane, it becomes wisdom, understanding, wholeness, and connection to the Great Spirit. If you have chosen this symbol, there is a need within you to transmute some thought, action, or desire so that the wholeness may be achieved. This is heavy magic. But remember, magic is no more than a change in consciousness. Become the magician or the enchantress. Transmute the energy and accept the power of the fire. So earlier today when I was out in the pasture, Baba was on the back of the house, and I said, hey, I'm going out to the pasture. You want to come with me? So she comes out with me, but we started to go out there, and she was just really going slow. And I was like, what's wrong? I'm like, you don't have to go. I'm like, you want to go back to your perch? I was going to let her back in the house. And she just looked at me and she was like, no, I'm coming. But I could just see like she was just being like really cautious. So I go out there, I take off my shoes, and I'm walking around barefoot on the grass, and I'm like connecting with, Gaia. And all of a sudden, Baba stopped. And I can sense that her energy, like I sensed like this like field, like this protective energy like going around me. I can't really explain it. And then I turned around and I was like, hey, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, come on, I was just like, what are you doing? I'm like, come on. And she was just kind of low to the ground, and she was staring at something, and I was like, ooh, and I was like, okay. I'm like, well, what do you see? I'm like, I'm thinking there's something in the grass, so I'm looking in the grass. I'm looking for a snake, right? I'm thinking she's, so I go over, and I got like down on the ground next to her, and I'm like, what are we looking at? I was like, what are we looking at? Because she was like this, like, and you guys know she's really big, right? So she stands kind of tall, but she was like this. So like her fur was like hitting, the top of the grass, and she was making this sound. Like, have you ever seen like when cats see a bird, they'll go, ah, ah, ah. They do that little thing. They're like, ah, ah, ah. Like they make weird noises and stuff. It was like that. But it was like she was doing that and hissing at the same time. And quite frankly, in the 8 years that I've had her, I don't ever remember her acting like that or making that noise. It was literally like this, like she was like kind of hissing and like making these noises. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I said, what do you see that I don't see? And I'm looking, and I'm trying to see with my with my third eye, I'm trying to see beyond this like earthly plane. I'm trying to see like in between, like what she's seeing, and I couldn't see anything. So I think it's really interesting that Spirit is talking about transmutation, because I feel like there was something that was happening in the energy, and almost as if it was transmutating. So the contrary meaning to this is, if you have drawn this symbol in the reverse, you may have chosen to mask your ability to change. Look at the idea that you may fear changing your present state of affairs because this may entail a short passage into discomfort. Discover this discomfort. Ooh, discover. Isn't that funny? How did I go from does to discover? But interesting, Freudian slip or not? Does this discomfort keep you from assuming the viewpoint of the magician within? Is the old pattern safe, reliable, and a rut? In order to glide beyond that place which has become safe but non-productive, become snake. Release the outer skin of your present identity. Move through the dreamlike illusion that has insisted on static continuity, and find a new rhythm as your body glides across the sands of consciousness. Like a river winding its way toward the great waters of the sea, immerse yourself in that water and know that the single droplet which you represent is being accepted by the whole. Feel snake's rhythm and you will dance freely, incorporating those transmuting forces of the universe as a part of your central dance of power. Ooh, yes. I've been feeling that, like, just feeling my skin, like feeling sexual, but not like I can't explain it. Just feeling like this kind of goddess energy where I just want to, release and let go. And so I'm really feeling the slither of the snake. And earlier, it's interesting. I'm realizing now what, for me anyway, like that's what Spirit was saying to me, to release that, like, because after I had released the anger part of it, I really genuinely was thinking to myself, you know what, if this is meant to stay, it'll stay. You know what I mean? Like the book, like it obviously wasn't. And I was almost frustrated with myself for getting upset about it, because I should know by now that if I'm not meant to do something, that I'm not meant to do it, and whatever I did, or I should say, whatever I did, I was meant to do, but whether it produced the fruit of the labors that I wanted doesn't necessarily mean that's what it was supposed to be. And I felt like it was so many lessons for me, but it was the magic, the cloaking, right? Like, so like myself, my higher self, the fairies, whoever, but some energy was like cloaking me from seeing that. They actually wanted me to feel loss. And I even said at one point, like to my higher self, to Spirit or whatever, I'm like, that's really fucking sick what you did to me today. Like I even said to Spirit, like in an angry way, like that's gross. I really was excited about finally feeling this surge in me to write again and to rearrange, like, because, now that I've changed a few things in my book, I had no idea, like when people talk about rewrites, you almost feel like it's just so frustrating because you have to rewrite almost the whole entire book. You can leave in certain things, but you have to change other things. And then you have to go through every line, every, page, every chapter, just to make sure that you're not missing anything. I know eventually like an editor will do that, who's ever going to, proof my book. But at the same time, I'm still writing it, right? So it's like I'm writing, sorry, I put essential oils in my hair earlier and I forgot about it. And then when I started to record, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a little sticky. But you hear what I mean? It's like, I can get upset about certain things, or I can just, allow it to be what it is, and I can transmute the energy. That's what we do as magicians, right? If you're in this tribe, like we're serious magicians. And like I spoke about, in the last video, if we're here to go through this first. We are the ones that are here to break the cycle with our ancestors. Like that one reading we did where Spirit talked about, like, from here on for the next 7 generations, it's going to take 7 generations to fully like bring us into like the path we need to be in. But one of us, like somebody in our lineage had to break that energy. Like we had to break up that energy. We had to like reset, and say, okay, this is who we really are. Excuse me. I know for my family, like, they may think they're like these diehard, like my dad's side, devout Catholics, my mom's side, devout, Christian, Southern Baptist, Now I'm like, why did I have to mess with my hair? It's one of my stickler things. I think I have a little hair tie somewhere. But it's interesting that here I am, this, you know, wild and crazy witch who's here to remind my family that we are magicians. And like, we had been doing this for centuries and centuries, our lineage, we were healers. And then somewhere along the line, you know, we lost ourselves, and, you know, and so we're here to remind ourselves, like, you know, that we have to shed that skin. We have to release that energy, which I'm going to move on to. I feel like is this our next? Yes. I'm like, when I said energy, I had a feeling we were going to be pulling from the energy deck. So yeah, the attachment, that's hard. It's hard. But when the book came back, I will say this, I felt so relieved because I was starting to question everything about everything. You know what I mean? Because it went so easily and it felt so right. And the characters have been developing themselves, you know, so deeply. And I was like, I finally, you know, talked about the hard stuff that I felt like my spirit guides wanted me, you know, to write about. And then I thought I was like somehow chastised for it, you know, but it is what it is. So I just want to make sure these are our cards. It's late, exactly in the position they are facing me, both of them. Is this in this position? Does this need to go? You want me to read both? Okay. Okay. All right. So, number 31, which is 13 backwards. Okay, so door to value. Let's see if I can get in there. Here, let's do this. Sorry, you guys. I think you've probably seen this card before if you've been on my channel. Well, look at that. It's interesting because I feel like the money's flying out the door, but not in a good way. Right off the bat, I'm hearing to don't get too crazy with your money. In fact, I literally heard the words tax return. So if some of you are like, oh, I'm going to get a big chunk of money and I'm going to go buy this or I'm going to go do that, I'm hearing you need to really meditate on that first before you go and do that. Like, the door is open for opportunity for you, but they're also saying like to hold on because there's going to be some other things that are going to come through and you're going to wish you had. I'm literally hearing the words $200. You're going to wish you had that $200 that you blew on that certain thing. Or maybe there's something that you're looking to buy, like that's, you know, in a higher price point. And they're saying not just yet. And I'm also hearing for some of you, it's something that you could get secondhand that would be like brand new, but you could save like half that money. And they're bringing my eyes to the words value. Like they're saying get the best bang for your buck. Does that make sense? Get the best bang for your buck. Okay. So let's see. Sometimes these late night readings are awesome and you can see the cards really well, and sometimes you can't. So I'm going to... Oh well, sorry you guys. I didn't set this one up too good, I'll be honest. It's late, I'm tired. I was surprised this even happened at all. We're already at 23 minutes. We've only done a few cards, but that's okay. Maybe if I go a little brighter. We can make the world a whole lot brighter. I just heard the Brady Bunch in my head. That's so funny. I've had the Brady Bunch theme in my head so much today because one of the characters in my book reminds me of a character from the Brady Bunch. And so it makes me laugh. And so I've been like singing like the Brady Bunch songs. Okay, that's a little bright, but at least you can see the card better, right? Oh, this is better. Hold on. Okay, I just wanted to be able to see a little bit better. Okay. So, new beginnings in finance or career. This card shows a door with a gold coin on it, opening to a place that's filled with light and bright potential. Money, coins, and jewels fly towards you through the open door, revealing a golden city beyond. All of this points to the potential for exciting new beginnings or expansions where work or money are concerned. Perhaps a new opportunity is totally unexpected, or perhaps it's something you've been working toward for quite a while. Either way, keep your eyes open for this new beginning to appear in your life. Know that anything you value may be open to you now. Remain conscious and creative and get ready to step through the door. So, like I said, this card, I was told to read it in upright and in the reverse position. So for some of you, the money's flying in. And they're saying, like, don't keep the doors like this, or like, swing those doors open. Let that money come on in. And then in the reverse position, it's saying this card reverse signifies a partial or perhaps even potentially complete closing of the door. The hoped for new opportunity where money or career is concerned may be delayed or possibly even derailed. Don't be disheartened, however. This card reverse reminds you not to put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify your interests and your efforts and let your intuition guide you to the next open doorway. In the meantime, open your heart and your mind to the other sources of value in your life. Money is a commodity, but so are time, tranquility, and love. Choose to open the doors of these wonderful experiences yourself and find real value there. There's an affirmation. So if you want to pause it and get pen and paper or get something, your phone or whatever you want to write on something, I'll give you a second to pause it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, you ready? My life is opening to endless possibilities of prosperity. The river of abundance flows freely through my door, bringing me unlimited wealth. One more time. My life is opening to endless possibilities of prosperity. The river of abundance flows freely through my door, bringing me unlimited wealth. Yes. So focus on the positive. Focus on the positive. Oh, I just go to put it in there. Okay. Ooh, and the next card is the one before it, 30. That's interesting. One of the other readings I did recently, we went backwards in numbers as well. Okay, number 30. The garden and the gate. Let's see if I can get in there so you can see a little bit more clearly. The garden and the gate. Oops. She's like, I just want to be there by myself. I don't need nobody. Oh, she wants the rosemary. You can have the rosemary. Here we go. Okay. The garden and the gate. Number 30. This one was just upright, so this is about abundant prosperity and staying safe. Oh, look at that. We got 2 prosperity cards right off the bat. This card shows a peaceful young woman in a beautifully blossoming garden with colorful flowers all around. However, the gate to the road outside the garden is locked, while the girl wears a key on a chain around her neck. This card upright bodes well for the financial scene. In fact, there may be a lot of money or other personal pleasures coming your way at this time. But be aware, the choice to stay in the seeming security of this lovely garden may actually be motivated by habit or a fear of the unknown. The beauty is enticing and worth enjoying, but you may not be giving your spirit the freedom to roam. While it's fine to amass a great deal of wealth, don't let it keep you from your karmic path or from living your truth. You have the choice to shift your focus, widen your spiritual perspective, and gain the world that is just outside your gate. Here's another one. We have another affirmation, so if you want to hit pause, get your pen and paper ready. I am blessed with an abundantly spiritual life. Every day and every way, my joyous prosperity grows and grows. Okay, one more time. I am blessed with an abundantly spiritual life. Every day and every way, my joyous prosperity grows and grows. Okay, so one thing that jumped out to me was, maybe some of you have been thinking about going on a vacation or taking a trip. I'm hearing to go on a spiritual one. And even if that means like maybe going camping or something you wouldn't normally do, going to stay out in a cabin in nature with like no technology, you know, maybe you just have like, you know, board games and a fire and you're going with your family or with your beloved, you know, your partner, whoever. I'm hearing that that is a better use of your funds for your soul than like, you know, taking a 4-day trip like down to Miami or Cancun or whatever, because it's like warm and whatever. It's like, well, you can go warm. They're saying you can go warm, but like, you know, then maybe go to like a spiritual retreat somewhere, you know. Also, I had heard earlier, like some of you save your money and instead of spending like $100 on a massage, try and find somebody that you know, or someone that they know that would trade services with you. Maybe you're a reader like me, or you work with crystals or something. Maybe you're a Reiki person and you're like, you know, hey, would you want to trade a massage for Reiki? You know, start doing more like the barter and trade with people in your industry. Okay, hold on. We'll be right back. So as I went to grab the Moonology cards, because I heard that was our next deck, this card came in. And if you've been watching the readings, you know that this card actually has come in a few times in the last few weeks. And it's called All Tied Up. And, you know, it's interesting. Spirit wanted me to say that, you know, this reading, this theme is about attachment. And so the last few cards we got were about abundance and prosperity, but they're saying to not have an attachment to the outcome, or not have an attachment of like, maybe you've had this committed thought about like how you wanted to spend the money or like what you wanted to put money towards. And they're saying like not to have an attachment to it. That's the whole point. And this card will make sense with that. And this is called Lack of Motion or Sense of Personal Freedom. This card shows a woman tied up with vines around her wrists, body, and arms. Receiving this card upright represents a situation in your life where things seem to be severely stuck. A major drama may be going on around you, stopping you from moving forward, or it may be that some technicalities are blocking your way. Perhaps you're waiting for a contract to be signed or an agreement to be made. Whatever is holding things up, the restrictions may be feeling quite oppressive at this time. If this isn't technically the case for you, what's tying you up is your own personal stuff. Look at your life and see how you can be your own jailer. Are you tying yourself up in some emotional angst or in a negative habit that you're refusing to deal with? If so, it's time to cut the vines and make some serious changes now. You needn't live in your self-imposed jail any longer. The affirmation is, you ready? Got your pen and paper? Gonna pause it? You ready? Okay. I release stuck energy, old habits, and restrictions. My life is opening up. I am free to choose my reality. I release stuck energy, old habits, and restrictions. My life is opening up. I am free to choose my reality. You know, I know for myself, what I've been feeling tied up is I want to have, like, in prior lifetimes in this lifetime, so in prior times in this life, I've had really great productivity in my life when I went on a schedule. So I've been trying to go on a schedule again, but it just does not work for me. It does, as a creative, it just does not work for me. I just flow, I ebb and I flow, and it's only gotten, you know, even more out of control since I've like awakened even deeper. So I urge you, you know, unless you have to be on a rigid schedule, if you're somebody who doesn't work on a schedule, then don't go. I don't go on a schedule anymore. I can't. I'm trying, but it's just not working for me. There's things that we can do to, like, you know, shake up our schedule. Like maybe have a list of things. Like the thing I just got from Spirit was like, maybe have a list of things that you want to accomplish, like in the morning, like after your meditation, like maybe over breakfast, like jot down like things that you need to get done for the day, and just, you know, go with them at the pace that feels comfortable for you. You know, I know a lot of times, like when Edward and I have to run errands, we're like, oh my gosh, it's 8:30, we have to go now, because like we want to like be done and gone like by the time you know, it gets busy. We don't like crowds, we don't like traffic, we don't like to be around a lot of people. But the funny thing is, like the last like 4 or 5 times we've gone to run errands, it just has not worked out the way we wanted it to. And a few times we've been like smack dab in the middle of like rush hour, like our lunchtime. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, why, you know? But the funny thing is we've ended up having really great experiences and we just rolled with the punches, you know? So our spirit guides, our higher self, you know, it's like they give us the challenges that we ask for, you know. And also they want me to talk about with the abundance thing again. We don't have to overly manifest. I do it as myself, where I'm like, you know, I thought I manifested that. How come it's not manifesting faster? Because my control, like I keep trying to skirt around my control issues. Like I'm going to change it overnight instead of like, you know, like it's going to take a minute for me to really, really, really change my control patterns. It's going to take a minute for me to really, really get back on track and like the way that I was a year ago, you know, because the last year I've really like let a lot of things go so that I can concentrate on other areas. But it's really about, you know, the balance. So let's move on to the Moonology card. But grateful for this. Thank you all tied up card. Thank you energy deck. All right, on to the Moonology. Okay. So we pulled the full moon in Leo. Don't let pride get in your way. I love this card. It's so pretty. Don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. Yeah, right? Like it's so easy to let our ego take over and let us think that, you know, ooh, 76, number 13. I love it. Ooh, that's interesting. I opened a 96, which is conclusions are within reach. That's a full moon eclipse, but let's get to this one. So full moon in Leo. Let's see what Leo has to say. Have you been letting your pride become an obstacle? Is the question you're asking based on your ego or is it from your heart? Now remember, we're talking about attachment. Leo energy is all about the heart. Think of the big-hearted king of the jungle, the lion. Its energy is magnificent, but when it's combined with the rush of the full moon, it can become over the top. This card may have come to you because you need to end a deadlock that has developed. More love and thoughts for the greater good are the solution for this dilemma. If you've not been doing as you would be done by lately, this is the time to find a balance between your own needs and the needs of the people around you. This will help all your relationships. The attunement to the moon is be magnificent without being plain too much. Additional meanings for this card are self-esteem is good, but vanity is not. Everyone is equally important. Creative urges should be followed. Work some magic, and a friendship may be ending now. Ooh, interesting. Ooh, and my nose just started itching as if the spirit was like tickling me. The teaching is when the full moon comes into in Leo. Ooh, bad typo. It can be a wonderfully bright time where people feel more confident to show the world their talents and assets. That's the upside down of this lunation and of this card, no matter when you pull it. However, take note that the Leo full moon combination creates a sort of tension between your needs and the needs of people in your networks. Leo full moon is a time to release pride. Ooh, that's interesting because I feel like that kind of ties into like, you know, what we were talking about, you know, with the attachment. We get so attached to certain things. Like I said, like the outcome. Even myself, I was really frustrated today because I'm realizing like how much my story is changing and evolving. And I have these moments where I'm just like, man, I don't know what's going to really happen. And there's something kind of exciting about that, but there's also something a little unnerving about it, you know. Thank you, Rosemary. Because I don't know what's going to happen, right? And it's interesting because sometimes I can get excited about things. And I love that smell. Sometimes I can get excited when I don't know about something, and then other times I don't, because I just want to know the outcome, right? I just want to know, and then like if I can attach something to it, and I'll just manifest it and make it happen. But I think there's a really slippery slope between manifesting and like forcing something to happen, right? We want to put out there what we'd like, and then, but it's better to put out into the universe like, you know, hey, I'd like to have a car. And yes, you can, you know, manifest down to like, I want a black sports car this year, this model, this make, you know, blah, blah, blah. But you may also say, but I'm also open to maybe there's a car out there that would be better for me, or maybe I would enjoy this riding in this type of vehicle more than this type of vehicle, but you wouldn't know because you've only like tried this one thing. Does that make sense? So sometimes it's fun to just like be grateful, you know, for like what is coming our way and what's right in front of us, instead of like, you know, longing for something that we don't have. Okay, we're going to go on to the next card. All right, look at this one. It's a new moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is paying off. See, your spirit guides are like, yay. Like, you know, we get the tough love, we get the medicine, but then they also let us know like the hard work is paying off. You know, they give us the tough love so that we can understand, you know, why things are happening the way they're happening. That's what the tough love is there for. It's not there to like make us feel like, well, what do we do? Or how can we do it? But it's like, no, it's like sometimes we have to just, you know, we have to hear the bad stuff to get the good stuff. I'm sorry, I'm losing steam. Okay, so, and also I forgot my glasses and I don't feel like getting up. First and foremost, this card suggests a new start for you professionally. Whatever has been going on in your working life, this card heralds the start of a new and improved work cycle. If you're unhappy in your current job, this is the time to either renegotiate your position or look for something new. Whatever your question, whether work-related or otherwise, a new plan and strategy is called for. You need to take a look at the long term and think about where you want to be in 12 months or even 5 years' time. That will inform your best course of action now, so think seriously about it. Drawing this card suggests it's a time for you to be ambitious about whatever it is that you want to achieve. Your attunement to the moon is make a proper plan and execute it well. Additional meanings for this card is you need to be more disciplined to reach your goal. What was I just talking about? It's about having discipline, but it doesn't have to necessarily be like, you know, maybe like, you know, Billy Bob Jimbo over there likes to like get up, meditate, have breakfast, then get ready, take a shower and go to work. Other people might want to take a shower, get ready, eat their breakfast, go to work, and, you know, work out like during their lunch hour after, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just so personal. Okay, it says you need to be more disciplined with your hard work will make your dreams a reality. A very good omen for studying or teaching. Don't be too controlling and avoid anyone who is controlling. Oh, oops, that's me. I'm working on it. Capricorn is a sign of ambition, building, and hard work. The energy is solid and rigid. The new moon in Capricorn is a powerful lunation that comes towards the end of each year and marks arguably the best moment annually to make a list of your hopes, dreams, ambitions, and intentions for the year ahead. Pulling this card at any time suggests that with planning and discipline, you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. See? I think it's interesting how they keep kind of going back and forth, like kind of like saying, okay, this is good, but then work on this. And then this is good, but then work on this. And that's the reality, right? Like nothing's going to go like perfectly. Okay, on to the next deck. So I was going to pull the card to save time, but then I heard no. This card, at least the next card anyway, is going to be about vocation. So for some of you, when you came here and you're like, but I don't know, you know, what I'm supposed to do, or I'm not sure what it is I'm supposed to do. Go on a vision quest. It's the best way to find the answer is to go on a vision quest. I like how that, I feel like that, whatchamacallit, the crystal ball, like, wants to be seen. Go on a vision quest, right? I'm going to read it. I think you all kind of get it, but for some of you who maybe you're new here, you don't know what a vision quest is, I'm going to read it to you now. Sacred seeker, take time away from people and situations. Step back. Withdraw. Inner truth is emerging in stillness, but first you need to retreat. Know that you're guided. Look for your answers in different ways. The answers are around you. Watch for signs in the coming day and trust that your life is being directed. Your native spirit wants you to know, in earth-based cultures, larger questions about life are often answered on vision quests or solo retreats in nature. Questions such as, who am I? What am I meant to do with my life? And what is my mission and my purpose in life? Were often answered on quests of various kinds. Even if you don't have burning questions, when this card chooses you, it's telling you to take time away from your ordinary life. Take time to explore the depths of your soul. Your soul knows the truth. Take time and quietude to discover what it is. The answers to your questions are all around you, but you must be still to hear these messages. The journey is spend time alone, preferably in nature, without your cell phone and the internet, and even without pencil or paper or a book. Simply be. Listen to the world around you. Be still. Watch for signs. Open your heart to receive messages from the divine. What did I just say? I'm like, you have to like step away from everything. We've got to like, you know, for us to really find the answers. When I'm in my little bubble here, I mean, it's not easy. I get lonely, or I get, you know, not everybody, I don't expect everyone to do what I'm doing. This is my path. This is my vision. But it's taken me many years to get here. You know, I never thought I was a writer. I never thought I would do this. This is new for me. This is my very first novel. I thought I would have been done months ago. I thought I was going to be done months ago. I mean, and Spirit told me to stop talking about it. So, you know, I don't really talk about it that much, except for like I'm here with you guys and to my close friends and family. But like, I don't want to be on social media anymore, you know, like at least not for now. You know, it's like I'm here to, I just heard eagle medicine. Oh, look at that. Sacred eagle. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever read this one. This is exciting. And I heard to put the cards away. Eagle medicine. Wow, you guys. This is exciting. I love when there's a card I haven't read yet, because I've read a lot of them so far. Profound connection to the Creator in the heavenly realms. As the eagle soars high above the earth, it has the ability to see things from a higher perspective. Courage and stamina are filling your life. You have the ferocity to right injustice and wrongs done to you or to others. This is the time to face fear and overcome it. Your native spirit wants you to know, if the Eagle Medicine card has chosen you, you are at the advent of the opportunity to truly see life from a rarefied vantage point. Eagles are considered one of the most sacred of all birds in many tribes and cultures. Their single-minded fierceness, dynamic energy, and ability to soar high are part of the reason for this. This card reminds you to take heart and face fear. You do indeed have the strength to overcome any adversity. You also have a direct line to the Creator. Your prayers are heard and will be answered in accordance with your highest good. You have the capacity to channel extraordinary life force energy through your hands. Ooh, the journey. Go on an inner journey and imagine that you're an eagle. Feel the power of your wings, the clarity of your eyesight, and the power of your talons. As you do this, be aware of the energy of the majestic eagle filling you. That's so powerful. Isn't that interesting? I'm like, I felt like so many of you, and by the way, I heard lawyer, I heard therapist. So some of you, I heard like public defender, lawyer, therapist. And then when I was, when I said through energy through your hands, it was like, I saw like Reiki, not necessarily massage, but I did see Reiki. So some of you, you know, maybe you know this already. So when you're on this vision quest and when you're connecting with the Eagle Medicine, you know, what do you see when you clear your mind and you ask Spirit to help you, you know, clear your mind so you can see, you know, like what comes to you in your vision? What do you love? What brings you joy? You know, that's how you find your path. This brings me joy. Helping people brings me joy. Even like with my books, that's why I'm trying so hard to make them not perfect, but like right, you know, because it's like these books are going to help a lot of people, and that's what they're there for. You know, this isn't just about me like getting a book deal or making money or becoming a famous writer. I don't care about any of that. It's really it means nothing in the big picture. You know, it's about helping other people, because there's billions of people on this earth, and there's so many things happening right now, and there's so much fear is being injected into the planet right now. There's so much fight for control above board, below board. There's just so much happening right now. So, you know, getting in touch with yourself and being quiet and staying close to your tribes is really the best medicine for you right now, and your best guide. Hold on one second. I'm going to see if there's any other cards that we're going to pull. I'll be right back. So I was called to pull the Fairy Tarot, and while I was pulling the cards, it was really interesting that, chihuahua, they're so slippery. It was really interesting that I started to think about, I know this is horrible and I should probably know, but I think is it on the dollar bill, or is it on the, it's, I want to feel it, say there's somewhere in the government where there's an image of an eagle with a snake in one of its talons. And so I just was thinking about that imagery right now, and how we started out with the snake, and it was about, this whole reading was about attachment, and then it was about transmutation, and then it turned, and then it ended with the eagle. So it started with that, and then with the, in terms of animals, you know. So let's see what we have to hear from the fairies right now. Okay, fairies. Wow, I think these are the same ones that came up before. I don't know if we're going to make it, you guys. This may be a two-parter. Maybe already, I haven't been paying attention. Isn't our greatness good to go for all of these at the same time? Are they in the positions that you want them to be in? Okay. Ooh, interesting. So we're starting out with the 6 of Winter, which is about positive changes are on their way, a welcome relief from troubled times, traveling or relocating. And 6 is about hard work, because it's a double 3, which is all about being highly creative and getting our balance back. So the number 6 is about hard work, and the Winter is like the Pentacles, finances, you know, earth, material matters. So positive changes are on their way, a welcome relief from troubled times. And we were talking about that, right? Like we were talking about money. That actually looks pretty good. You guys can see it, right? The 6 of Wands. Interesting. We like that. Does it matter? I just heard does it matter, and I'm like, no. The next one was, ooh, the 5 of Winter. Ooh, we went backwards again. Isn't that interesting? Now we have the 5 of Winter. And it's the same thing. And this one says, walk away from dishonest associations, realizing that what you thought you wanted isn't the best choice for your happiness. Something that's not worth the effort. Yeah. So in this card, this guy is walking away. I can't really see the card that well, but all I see is him walking away, and he's got his hand out. It looks like a hand. It looks like a magical, like he's like putting magic out. Looks like he's walking, to me it looks like he's walking away from the ordinary and stepping into magic. See how there's like a lot of like stuff going on around him? So I think that's really interesting. The 5 of Winter. Then the next one we had was, oh, and the 5 is about imbalance, unstable, change. So, you know, for some of you, you know, you got to get these people out of your life. You know it. We keep talking about it, but you got to get these people out of your life because they're not helping you. So the next one is the 8 of Summer, the desire for a more meaningful life, realizing that it's time to move on, choosing to make major life changes, right? What did I just say? Talking about making major life changes and walking away. And the 8 is about balance, getting your balance back, which we just talked about that. And Summer is an air sign, so this is like swords. This is about the thinking. The desire for a more meaningful life, realizing it's time to move on. So, right, we were talking about attachments. This whole episode is about attachments. So it's time to move on. Let go of those attachments. And it's not even, you know, it's not even as bad as it seems. You know what I mean? Like once you it's just the initial part, but once you get away from it, you'll feel so relieved. And the last one we have is the 9 of Winter. Unfounded fear, focusing on worst case scenarios and allowing worry to grow out of proportion to the problem. Yes, and 9 is at the end, right? So 9 is building up to completion, patience, almost there, keep going. And I know this is you, right? This is you looking out at spirit, into the stars, into the sky, saying, when's it going to be my turn? You know, it reminds me of, so we'll end on this card, and it makes me think of the Little Mermaid, you know, when she sings that song, Part of This World. I love that song. Every time they play that part when she says, when's it my turn? I start to cry because I feel like I've been like that, like longing, looking out the window, like how much harder do I have to look? How much harder, how much harder do I have to work? How much, longer do I have to wait? But this is telling us that we're almost there, you guys. Just hang in there. Just hang in there. Let go of those attachments. Let go of those people that no longer serve you. It's time to move on. We're almost there. We're almost there. Be the magician. Think positive, right? Go inward. And so you can find your answers for what you need to do for your next steps. Okay, that's all I got for you tonight. Thanks for hanging in there. I know I was really tired, but I was called to do it. So have a blessed wherever you are, day, night, or whatever. And I will talk to you next time. Blessed be. Oh.